So I have two industry titans here. I've always tried to understand how can I build an intent. You cannot teach intent. A business that is centered around community is now interacting with people who do not want large communities. How do we do that?
Student housing is such an advanced industry now. You can go anywhere in the country, throw a dart on a map and pick a university, and there's going to be a team there that can paint the picture and have the right living experience. So
that's the challenge. You have to find people that are invested. You have to train them accordingly, and they have a product that will suit everyone's budget. Just depends on the quality by which you're willing to receive it.
if you treat your residents right, they're going to go online and they're going to tell people about it.
You know the tagline. You got to treat your residents as if they are the CEOs and the owners of the property.
So fired up for round two. And glad I got my tag team partner over here.
Yes.
AB, it's good to see you again.
So I have two industry titans here, okay? Who have spent over 2 decades in the student housing industry. You guys have built value, trust, authenticity, and legacy brands, all right? But you guys started your journey pretty early on, right? I have heard from both of you, you started right at the property and then rose through ranks, all right? What is something that people still don't know about the legacy behind Jason Ford and Teddy Abdelmalek? What is that legacy? Introduce yourself and let the people know that, hey, this is beyond a brand in student housing. Just people want to know both of you. Yes, let's start from there.
Yeah. Teddy Abdelmalek, Senior Vice President of Business Development for HH Redstone.
Yeah.
I started my career in student housing by accident, as probably a lot of professionals did. Sometimes you fall into it. And really, because I started on the on-campus side, I did my master's in higher education with an emphasis in student affairs. And really, my scope was assisting students and engaging and advising them through their academic focus and their time at the university. But when I was given an opportunity to work on a private-public partnership with the university, it kind of turned the page on campus, and really I fell in love with the off-campus piece of it. But what resonated was I was able to be the liaison between the university's language and mission and the off-campus partner that didn't understand the university mission. But really at the heart of it was helping students, supporting them, advising them through their off-campus living environments, because that could have been the first time that they've ever engaged in a lease, for example, right? Or lived off the safety of the on-campus environment, right? And so something I would say that our listeners don't know is that, you don't go to school to major in real estate. You don't go to school to major in property management, nor do you go to school to major in student affairs, right? But the marriage between student affairs and property management is becoming more consistent in our industry more than ever. And it gives the professionals that go down that route an opportunity to have a sense of, there's a cadence associated with understanding the student and what they need, especially like we discussed, the new generations of students and what they are specifically engaged with, right? At the heart of my career has always been supporting the student experience and creating that into value for the properties we support.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is Teddy Abdelmalek from HH Redstone for you guys. A completely different introduction. Thank you so much, Teddy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Jason, let's go.
So fired up for round two. And glad I got my tag team partner over here.
Yes.
AB, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So I started my journey really to try to help my parents pay for college. I went to school Started out as a junior college, and they supported me year one. And year two, I wanted to help out. And I got a call the summer before, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I got offered a resident advisor position. I didn't know what the hell a resident advisor was. And I said, yeah, tell me more about it. And they said, well, the first thing is it's free room and free food.
You got it.
And I said, so I don't have to pay anything to live there? And they're like, no. And I said, okay, sign me up. So August 1st of that year of 1993, I started my student housing journey. And I just absolutely fell in love with real estate. And every year, I kept getting promoted to a different position within the company. I worked for a small operator in College Station. And then next thing I know, I was running the property, down the road. And I was fixing to graduate from A&M and was interviewing for jobs and kept telling myself that I'm not a real estate guy. Like, I'm going to go do something else. And I kept getting promotions and kept giving me more money, and they kept giving me more responsibility. And literally, I spent 10 years at that firm. I then worked for Fairfield Residential and helped them build their exchange brand. And then June 28th of 04, I started my journey with Asset Living and have been there 22 years this year. So like Teddy, I kind of fell into it. And I don't think it's till I started at Asset that I was like, oh, this is my career. I'm a grown-up now. I'm a real estate guy. And I think what's one of the most rewarding things about my position now is people really do go to school now for property management. Like when Teddy and I started, nobody knew what student housing was, and it was more on campus. And now people can make a career. And I've had people that have worked with me at Asset since they were 18 or 19. And I saw a bunch of those people this week at Interface. And it's so rewarding when I can look back 22 years later and say, well, they were a dumbass when they were 19. They were a knucklehead. Yeah. And now they're leading industries at not only at Asset, but at different companies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So rewarding and now they have families, and it's so rewarding that I played a small part in helping them find a career. Just like my buddy who gave me a job lives 2 houses away from me. Wow. He offered me a job, in 93, and he went his way, North Carolina, Florida, and I went my way. And 9 years ago, we now live 2 houses away from each other. He's my best friend in the world. Awesome. And he gave me my start in student housing, and it's just crazy how the journey happens. Really, really crazy. Wow. But it all happens for a reason, right?
It does. Yeah. It does. I think I'm so glad I took the call that let's have the introduction like this. Nobody would have heard the story, Jason. Yeah. Thanks. Jason Ford from Asset Living, guys. Amazing. Amazing. We actually did something else as well. We spoke to the kids that we typically help find the accommodation abroad, and we asked them to give us 2 questions that they would like to ask from the people who are very much responsible for them finding the right housing. Okay, the first question, and it's kind of weird, and now I understand why they're saying that, but it kind of seemed weird to me earlier from why they would ask that question to you, but I think it makes sense. Let me ask that question. So the goal was, one part of the question is they want to know where the developments are headed. So that's why they asked that. The second is they want to make a choice. They want to make a choice whether I do A or B. So the question was, what are the 3 amenities that you absolutely love in the current developments, and 3 amenities you think are absolutely BS and they should just be done away with? The reason, and because that question came to me, and I was like, I don't understand why would they want to ask that. The goal was, first, they want to see that, okay, what is the future of development now? Second is, they want to say that, are we fretting over things that don't matter? So let me ask the experts.
Go ahead. Yeah.
One amenity that is a necessity and, becoming more prevalent is amenities that are focused around the academic focus.
Okay.
Right. So, there's more prevalent attention given to study rooms and conference rooms and areas that allow for social engagement and groups to come together, especially majors of cohorts that are able to come and study together as well. So you're starting to see an advancement towards smart technology, smart boards in these conference rooms and these small knit conference areas. I know that when we've worked on renovations, we're shifting the game rooms to these study areas, right? We're taking away the game rooms, we're taking away the pool tables, the ping pong tables, because that is the amenities of the past, right? You want to create social spaces, but you also want to create academic spaces at the same time. Another great piece is also the wellness piece.
Yeah.
And a lot of properties are going that route as well. I mean, Jason can probably tell you, there's like 5-star amenities as it relates to saunas and hot tubs and fitness centers. And not just a fitness center, they have something called, in Tucson, there's a property that has a hammam, which is a Middle Eastern focused amenity that is more like a sauna, but it's like an enlarged area, and it's more or less tied to the experience that you want your residents to have at your property. Okay. What are the experiences tied to a game room or a ping pong table or a pool table? Not really creative enough.
Yeah, it doesn't bind you to the property.
Doesn't bind your experience to the property. But I can tell you, if you're relaxed and you're working up a sweat, and the amenities are reflective of the style of the property and the quality of the property, that you can get, a gourmet coffee, or you can get, a coffee or a convenience store that fits the style of the property. It's priceless.
Yeah, I think this sums it up. Yes.
I think one of the things you have to think now is developments in general are down from years past. And there's not as many available sites. It's hard to make the numbers pencil. So most people are going to renovations. But new developments and renovations, to me, amenities are still the same when it comes to what you need. Most people don't say internet is amenity, but internet's an amenity. And your internet better be on point, and it better be fast, and it better never go down, and you better get no complaints, because they don't care if the lights are on,
but the internet should be.
That damn internet better work. Yeah. So to me, that would be number one. But I wholeheartedly agree with Teddy. Fitness, wellness is hugely important. And they need to spend money on it. It needs to be nice. It needs to be for men. It needs to be for women. Like, they need to be separate areas. They need to be focused. People focus on wellness. It's super important. The study areas are super important too. And I equate it, Teddy and I both travel a lot, but it's a combination between, it needs to be like Starbucks, the airport lounge, and the Apple store, and they need to all be together. So the kids can go and they can have private study, they can have group study, they can connect, they can get coffee, they can get snacks. Like, they don't want to be in their rooms. And a lot of these new developments are very tight with their spaces, so they need to have functional spaces like that. One of the other things that I really like and is super cost effective are podcast rooms like this. Like, absolutely. Kids nowadays are doing that, and it's dirt cheap to build a podcast room. Like, and you asked about amenities that are not needed, like tanning beds, not needed anymore. Used to be a staple of every property. Golf simulators, like,
you don't need that for sure.
They look great. Like, we went through an amenity war where they had ski simulators and golf and all that. Like, and Teddy makes a great point. Games room, outdated. Like, movie rooms, outdated, because you have to go through all these legal stuff and everything like that. It's not worth having a movie room. So those are kind of out. But if you dominate fitness, wellness, and then that study kind of collaborative area, the internet's good. Some markets, I mean, we're in a warm weather market right now. You better have a pool. it's not a necessity in every market, but those are what I think people overthink amenities. Dominate your amenities, dominate those 3 or 4 core amenities, and get everything out. Like dog parks are important. Like everybody has a pet, even though maybe they don't report it and everything like that. But dog parks, if you have room, certainly are there. But don't overthink the amenities. It's not.
I think
Not
it
necessary.
has to be function over form, yeah? It has to be function over form. I mean, I remember, it's strange. I was listening to a kid from West Virginia on a podcast, and they are 5 to 6 college kids. And what they do is, their podcast series is really about nothing. What they do is, what are
It's the Seinfeld of podcasts. It's really a podcast about nothing.
yeah, it is. And I was like wondering, okay, let's see what these kids are building, because I really want to understand their perspective, their mind. And you'll find it really funny that they were just discussing what happened in college today. I'm not even making this up. This was the podcast.
funny.
They have published about 30, 35 episodes. An average viewer, it's the first few episodes didn't get much views, but now they have got about 800 subscribers. I know it's very less, but imagine these kids, 5 kids, just saying that what happened at college today. And I think that is what people want to do. There's a lot of protective expression that has come into Gen Z now. They want to express, but in a very protective, very controlled environment. And I think podcast studios can be a great outlet. Going to a gym where I can actually de-stress rather than going to a foosball table. I would go to a gym where I can de-stress. I do not want to go to a pool table anymore. I don't need it. And I doubt even kids are playing pool these days or not.
Pool tables for bars.
Yeah.
Like games are for bars. Like you want to have a beer
Yeah.
and go play pool.
You want to have a dartboard, go to
Yeah.
a bar.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in a building. Yes, absolutely. We got some goodies for you, because
Thank you.
what's chat without having some dessert,
right.
right? So yeah, you want to have it right now? Later?
I'll wait till the end.
Till the end. Okay.
I'll keep
yeah.
looking at it, and I'll know that's my prize at the end.
Okay, yeah, I would like to de-stress at the end then. Okay, we've got the second question as well, and this is something that I think they just we actually interviewed about 400 kids, so I think this is something that they did for fun. One thing is they want to know from each one of you, what is the worst property you have ever stayed in? It doesn't have to be student housing, just a property. It can be a hotel experience, it can be an Airbnb, it can be anything, a rental you ever stayed in. And this is primarily me asking that. After that, the second part, which is, did you ever think that, okay, this is the worst experience I've had, I would never, ever make any kid feel the same when I build something like that?
It could be a hotel too.
It can be a hotel. I would love to know the hotel brand and name.
Mine is easy.
Okay.
It's the Hampton Inn at LaGuardia Airport.
Calling them out.
It was the worst experience I've ever had.
Hilton, are you listening?
Yeah, it was not good.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm
think-
still waiting.
What
for
about it? What
Still
about
waiting
it?
for there. Literally everything was dirty. We didn't check in until after 11.
Okay.
So we had a super early flight the next morning. Everything in the room was dirty.
All right.
And it was just a bad experience. I went down and complained. They didn't have any other rooms. So it was like, I didn't really have a choice. So I had to sleep on top of the comforter, and it was just the worst, most uncomfortable experience ever. And, you know, after a long day, I met with clients all
Yeah,
day,
you don't wanna do
and I
that.
just wanted to get a good night's sleep before a 6 a.m. flight.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably only at the hotel 7 hours. And it was the worst 7 hours that I could experience. And at that point, I was sharing a room with one of my colleagues back in the early asset days when we had to split room charges.
The early
which
days
is-
of saving
that's
on the budget.
That's right.
You gotta stay
we
with
were
your maintenance
saving
supervisor.
travel costs, and I was sharing a room, and both of us together. He actually still works for the company today. One of my good friends.
Okay.
It was an awful experience. It was just awful, and I didn't hold it against Hampton or Hilton or whatever, but it's just the area around LaGuardia is not really that nice,
Yeah,
and the
it is.
hotel.
Yeah.
I'd have been better to sleep in the car. I really would have been better.
Oh, damn.
So that was my worst.
You know, mine is a little different because the actual quality of the of the hotel was satisfactory.
Okay.
But it was the engagement with the staff. So imagine you're walking into a 4 or 5 star hotel and you're expecting to be treated one way, but you're actually being treated like you're at a 1 or a 2 star hotel. So the front desk, basically asleep at the wheel. It's like 10 p.m. They're not engaged. Not a cheap hotel by any means. Looks great, but their actions did not depict their brand, right? And so when they're behind the desk and essentially in sleepwear, PJs, you're kind of shocked. You're like, this is something we preach in student housing, right? You have to, first impressions and, how you represent your asset is indicative of your customer. And I say, it's like you're on a football team and the quarterback is not in uniform. How do you even know they're the quarterback, right? And so just complacent and not attentive to customer needs. I wasn't the only one that felt that way. As, obviously there was one person behind the desk. A variety of us had a late flight flying in. So you can imagine that it just didn't match their brand. So that was interesting.
All right. You would like to take the name?
No, we'll keep. We'll save them face.
Teddy don't want to put him on blast like I did.
We'll save them face.
Okay.
It'd violate the settlement agreement. No, I'm joking.
Okay. Mine was at the DoubleTree in Newark.
Oh gosh.
Amazing lobby.
Common theme in the Northeast.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Amazing lobby, and I was like, wow, it's a good hotel. And I checked in at 7 in the night, 7:30. No, I actually checked in 6, and I did not get into the hotel up until 9:30 because we had a dinner with a client. We moved, we came back, and the expression is like, it's not bad really, but it's really underwhelming. Yeah. So the lobby is great. The pathway to the room is amazing. The moment the door opens, it looks like
1970s.
They transported me to a different parallel universe altogether. I was like, oh my God, did I switch? Did I go to a different hotel? Does this door open to this hotel itself? That was crazy. For me, it was very crazy. And that room quality was not good. The furnishings were not good. But the whole experience, I think. At that time, I think it's a good, DoubleTree is never like that. I've had amazing experiences at DoubleTree, but this was very underwhelming.
I felt that way in Las Vegas before. Yeah. It's like wonderful amenities, wonderful property. Walk into the room and you're like, what is going on here? Yeah. Why is there green carpet?
You're talking about the MGM
Park
Grand,
MGM. Park MGM. How dare you?
How dare you?
No, I'm just saying, like, you've spent hundreds of millions of dollars into your property.
Yeah.
And then
that's a Marriott brand, so we're equal opportunity talking about.
You skimp on the unit itself.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. You see that in student housing as well. You spend all the money on the common areas, the curb appeal to get them in, and then the experience itself is not indicative of the rest of the property. And that's the problem.
A big part of my job, and I'm sure same with Teddy, we go around and we try to steal management contracts from our competitors, right? And you go into a property and you see a staff that's complacent and lazy, and maybe they're not wearing PJs, but maybe they're wearing shorts and
athletic gear.
Yeah, they don't look professional, and you walk in and it's a multi-million-dollar asset and the staff looks like they just rolled out of bed. Like, there's a lot of complacent people out there, and there's a lot of laziness out there, and those are the ones that I want to steal because I know if we put our brand in it, it's going to fix it immediately. But somebody's not watching the ship, right? Like, somebody's not tending to it. And like your experience at the hotel, my experience at the hotel, it all has to do with staff that just didn't care. I didn't believe.
I've always wondered that, is it the management or is it the human resource? What I mean is, let's say I have a property. I am really bad at managing it, okay? you walk in or you walk into that, you see the lazy staff dressed up in athletic wear and stuff like that. Do you think the solution is if you would come, then you would, it's just a training program that is so bad at my place that I just don't know how to train them? Or it is that we'll literally have to change everything from bottoms up? What is that?
Well, I think it starts with the management, right? It starts with the training, but it's not as easy to just say do this. You have to give them an incentive of why they're invested to react that way for the property. Do they see themselves in the life cycle of the asset?
Okay.
Right? What's that mean to them as a staff member?
Okay.
And how do they fit into the investment process?
Okay.
Right? And so that's the challenge. That's the challenge. You have to find people that are invested. You have to train them accordingly, but then they can still be complacent.
Yeah.
So there's a phrase that I've always said is that you have to hire slowly and fire quickly.
Okay.
Because their complacency becomes an infection on the rest of your property. It affects the residents. It's an infection to the rest of your staff. And if you don't move quickly to remove that, the rest of your staff automatically believe that that is an appropriate action.
Yeah, that is okay.
Absolutely.
That should not be.
Absolutely.
Teddy said it really well, and I'll break it down very elementary. Does the person I hired care? Mm-hmm. And are they really invested in the betterment of the property? Yeah. And how do you get that? You have to explain the why. Like, why are they there? They're there to run a multi-million-dollar operation, and they're going to have to work hard, and they're going to have to be dedicated. That goes into the management company and the training and everything. But you can't teach somebody to care. You can't teach somebody to work hard. That's inside. And when you hire, that's why I'm not big on resumes. I'm not big on what their history is. Because I need them to work hard. I need them to care and be dedicated, and I'll teach them everything else. Like, student housing is not rocket science.
Yeah, we chatted about that.
I mean, it's just not.
Well, now you tell us.
Yeah. we're not doing brain surgery here, right?
We're not.
We're in customer service. We're trying to make people happy. We're trying to rent beds. And if you have people that outwork the competition and truly care, you're going to win. Mm-hmm. But the people that are complacent and lazy are just, in some markets, they're going to win too because the market's good. But in some markets, they're going to get their tail kicked because they don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I always wondered. Is it the people problem? Or I know it's both. I just wanted to know what will fix it first. Will the system fix it first or will the people? But
The people that don't care get out. Like,
Exactly.
fire quickly, right?
Fire
Like,
quickly. I think that is
But
something
Teddy's
that-
right. You have to invest in hiring.
Yes.
You have to vet. You have to recruit. You have to have multiple people talk to it. You know how easy it is to fool somebody in a 30-minute interview?
It is.
It's super easy.
super easy.
But if you have multiple people that are doing interviews on multiple days and you can collaborate and then maybe have a group interview at the end, you can't bullshit through 3 different interviews. You just can't do it.
You can't do it.
But you can through one. So you have to invest in interviewing. And how do you invest in interviewing? You have to teach your people how to interview. You can't just expect that they know how to hire somebody. Yeah. I'm really good at hiring people, but I invested to get good at hiring people. And you have to work at it, and you have to train people. You can't just tell your new manager, hey, go hire your team. Like, well, I've never interviewed somebody before. Well, train them how to interview so they can hire the best person.
I like that. I always wondered the same thing, and in my team, whenever we're hiring at Amber or any company I've ever worked with, I've always tried to understand how can I build an intent. You cannot teach intent. You cannot train people to have a good intent. I think so. And to work hard, you need to have intent. You can learn. You can upskill yourself. You can invest in yourself. You can probably train yourself. But if you don't have the intent, if I am going into student housing and I don't have the intent to be dressed up sharp, whatever I'm representing,
Sure.
I don't think so.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that is why you have to invest. Yeah, hire slowly, fire quickly. I like that.
It's a good term for sure.
It's a good term for sure. Yeah. All right. I'm just walking from that and talking about the first student experience where people walk into a property and how they're received. I always wondered and probably want to understand from an asset and HH Redstone point of view that let's say I'm a 19-year-old kid, and this is purely coming from somebody who doesn't stay in US, who's probably joining any university for the first time in States. If I'm 19, I am conscious on money, but of course I don't want a bad property. I'm just conscious on money. And I'm looking for a right opportunity to make up for my education cost as well.
Sure.
Which market would you recommend today for that kid to go into? Let's say he has an option or she has an option of 4 to 5 cities. Which market would you recommend is now primed up that a kid coming from outside of United States can still live in a decent property and still pay their way through? And yeah, I mean, just pay their way through.
I would say any market,
Oh, really?
because there's student housing is such an advanced industry now
Okay.
that in any bigger school you go to, there's going to be a property that has the value that your students are looking for,
Okay.
that has the right team, that has the right vision, that has the right amenities, that has the right unit plan. Like, you can go anywhere in the country, throw a dart on a map and pick a university, and there's going to be a team there that can paint the picture and have the right living experience. So it doesn't matter if it's Teddy's firm or my firm or
Yeah.
anybody else's. There's properties out there. So they have to pick a university where the major makes sense for them, where the climate makes sense for them, where the people make sense for them. Don't pick it for student housing, because you'll find good student housing anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be institution focused, and they have to feel comfortable and engaged with the community that they're going to. Right? If they love big cities, then New York, Chicago, DC, good options. But if they want more of a laid back, atmosphere, then maybe they need to take a look at the West Coast. But something that Jason said that was really important is, in every market that you go into, there is the scale between affordability and luxury. And they have a product that will suit everyone's budget. Just depends on the quality by which you're willing to receive it. You're not going to have a doorman if you're wanting to save money, but you could have all the bells and whistles if you want that luxury component. And really, the only difference between affordable and luxury is the quality of the finishes and the professionalism that you expect to receive at the properties. But I would argue professionalism should be the standard at all of the assets that you touch, right? There's a saying that we say in our company is that we're a customer service company. We just happen to lease apartments. So if you use that mentality, you should be treating every product. And Jason and I, we both have vintage assets in our portfolios. They're not luxury; they're vintage. They're value add assets, but the quality by which we manage them are just as good as the luxury. They just don't have the bells and whistles.
And value is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it just depends what that student is looking for. Like, some students, they could have an awesome fitness center and they could care less because they don't work out. So that's not a good value play for them. So they have to walk into a student housing facility, and in their mind, they have to paint a picture of what next year is going to look like for them. And how are they going to use their facility? Are they going to be in their room more? Are they going to be in the amenities more? Is it close to campus? Is it on the bus route? Like, do I have a car? Do I not have a car? Like, there's a lot of variables, but you can't just say, oh, you should go to Champaign, Illinois and live there. Like, that's the number one place you should go. Like, there's so many variables that go into it. And I think that's what's so unique about student housing is go pick a region, have them shop 7 or 8 deals. They're going to have 7, 8 experiences. The thing that's different now is these students have more data at their hand. They're going to do their research before they get off the plane, before they go to the market, and they're probably already going to narrow their search down to 2 or 3 based on reputation and what they see going on in the market, based on the rates that they're seeing. Maybe somebody's offering specials or what their friends are saying, or they're going to Reddit, or they're going everywhere. So a lot of their preconceived notions are done because they're going on ChatGPT or they're Google or they're doing whatever. So these kids are smarter nowadays than ever. And like I said earlier, they have more data at their hands. So they're going to make informed decisions. It's not going to be as quick as it has in the past because they have more data to make better decisions. So even though maybe the trend was always lease early, we as an industry have to understand the lease up's going to go to the summer just because these kids are smart. And we've trained them that the longer they wait, the better rate they get. And that's our fault for doing that. Yeah.
That's actually, that's why I love having this unfiltered version of things, because there's something nobody says. I was at the conference, nobody says that it's getting delayed because we have somehow trained the market for that. People know if I wait, hold up for a month, I would get a better deal. And that creates anxiety, and that creates a false urgency on the operator side that, hey, maybe I'm not gonna fill my beds.
Yeah.
It might happen because of other scenarios as well, but it's definitely not happening because the kid doesn't want to go.
But there's another variable that people aren't talking about. We as an industry got very greedy the last 3 or 4 years, and we pushed kids out of purpose-built student housing because they hit their mark that they couldn't pay anymore.
Yeah.
And the multifamily people got smart, and they started offering 3 or 4 months free.
Yeah.
And they understood that student's going to pay rent just like a young professional's going to pay rent, and they don't care who lives there. And that multifamily unit is nicer than our student housing unit. So they went and lived there, or they went and rented the house down the street. And trying to get people back into purpose-built student housing from the shadow market is almost impossible. So you have to wait a cycle for the on-campus people to start looking at student housing again. The price has to be right, and you can't raise the rents 10% every year because in every market there's a ceiling. And some of those markets have hit, like markets that went from 100% occupied to 90% occupied. Enrollment went up and there was no new beds. Well, where do those kids go? They went to live in the shadow market because you push rates too much. So Teddy used the term affordable housing. Affordable student housing is a true term. And we as operators have to sell value of affordability. And, our firm is ahead of where we were last year at this point. But I would say the majority of our firm is value add affordable student housing. It's right down the pipeline of what people want right now.
I think this also begs the question now that, so in other parts of the world where we are very active, let's say UK, Ireland, Australia, even if you talk about not so much in the EU, but it persists there, that there's a brand that carries certain value, that if I'm going to say Chapter, that I'm gonna go there. The brand of that particular building, that property, that the whole probably operation, that is famous. We see that traffic, or even if you look at search traffic, or even if you look at just general search or campaigns, everything, kids look for those kind of properties.
Sure.
But when it comes to states, in my brief experience, I think that is not the case. But can you enlighten me if that is the case or not? Would a kid go to a brand with average set of amenities rather than going to a new property with zero presence before, but probably all more bells and whistles? Do you think that'll happen?
I mean, it's a function of price at that point, right?
Okay.
It's like, what is the engaged process by which they're trying to understand which product to use, right?
Okay.
You can drink Coca-Cola, or you can drink water, right? Or you can drink an off-brand cola, right? It's you're gonna pay a premium for the brand. I wouldn't say in the United States we have a clear set of brands
Yeah.
yet. In the UK, I think that there's only so many operators
Yes.
that it creates a brand
It does.
within the demand process.
It does.
But yeah, I would say it's a function of price, location, and amenities. And I would argue that you could have the nicest property and all the bells and whistles, but if you don't treat your residents with respect and attentiveness, it doesn't matter how nice your property is. I've had vintage value-add assets outperform luxury assets in the same market, all because of the customer service and the hospitality focus that they receive. You know?
It's all reputation based.
Yeah.
If you treat your residents right, they're going to go online and they're going to tell people about it.
They do. They
And
do. I agree.
people don't care about a brand, they care about the experience. Resident experience is everything nowadays. So like Teddy said, if his property has a better brand than the brand new tower that just got built, that you can throw a football to hit the engineering building, they're going to live at Teddy's property because they have a better reputation and there's tried and true reviews that they treat their customers right. That's what the kids care about. Do some of the kids want to live at the new shiny penny? Some of them do. But if they don't treat them right year one, they're
gonna
not
move
living
out.
there year two.
Yeah.
Because it's all about experience. And I think probably all three of us will go back to any place that a person treats you right.
I would.
Compared to, oh, that's the best place ever, and their customer service is average. Or I want to go back to the nice customer service or first class customer service every time, because it's nice to feel treated that way.
That's
right?
so true. I go one step ahead. Sometimes I keep like so for example, there's an 1886 cafe in Austin. It's one of the best in terms of a lot of things. It opens at 7 a.m. It closes by 2 p.m. One of my best places. I think I've been to States a couple of times, but I've visited that particular cafe probably 18 times so far in just 3 years. But if tomorrow I go there and their service is bad, I would go one step ahead and say that I'll be hurt. Not that I have any stake there. I can simply stop going. But you get so attached to good service, and I think that reverberates throughout your experiences. I would like if I have I would recommend that to you. I would recommend to 100 more people that hey, if you're going to Austin, that is the place you should go. Like if you want barbecue, you'll go to Forks or you go to somewhere else. But if you are looking for a cafe, that is your place.
And do you know why that is? Do you know why that is the case? It's because we're human and we thrive on emotional attachment to brands and to experiences.
Yeah.
So if we're visiting a property and they treat you with respect and it makes you feel a certain sort of way, I say that the secret sauce sometimes in student housing is being able to know your resident's name, but also your resident's pet's name, your resident's maybe son or daughter's name off the top of your head. And it creates an illicit response from your resident that ties them emotionally to your property. I mean, who doesn't want to ever hear their name or be known in their community?
Yeah.
You know, it's just human to want to be tied down to that community, and sometimes you do that by engaging your residents with their first name. I mean, we as humans want to hear our names and the names of the people we love and care about.
I couldn't agree more. Like learning people's name and using their name just shows that you truly care about them.
Yes.
To remember it, to want to have a personal relationship with them, like, and you're right, people want to hear their name. Like, that's it.
Period.
Anywhere I go to eat, I ask the server's name,
Yes.
and I will use the server's name the whole time.
Absolutely.
And you'll get better service.
Every
and it's a
time.
respect thing too, right?
Every time.
Because I appreciate their service.
I do.
But it's no different than when somebody comes in and they're getting a package. Teddy, what's up, man? How's the dog doing? How's the studies going? Like, and we're having a conversation, and he's picking up a package, which no vendor has figured out packages yet. Like none of them. Like it's always something our teams have to do.
Yeah.
So any vendor out there, figure out the packages.
Okay.
Fetch is doing a good job.
Okay.
But a lot of people can't afford Fetch. So
Call out to anyone who is ever building a startup.
build packages but it does help our teams because that's one way to connect.
Yeah.
Where everybody's doing packages, right? Everybody. Yeah. So they come in the office, you can connect.
Can't they just deliver the package directly to the
That's
unit?
what Fetch does, and they
Directly to the unit?
They do good. The problem becomes the key fobs and security and stuff like that. So you just think like these lockers, right?
You get
None
a
of the boxes ever
doggy door on the
they
door
never
and
fit.
slip in.
Yeah.
There's always one box that's bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger.
Because there's
Always.
people like my wife that have to order 13 boxes that are all huge.
Oh, you need a
That don't
75-inch
fit.
TV
Yeah.
again.
Again.
It's like,
So yeah, I
great.
mean, but the name thing
Yeah,
is so important because they feel valued then.
of course.
Then when something goes wrong, they walk in the office and they say, "Hey Teddy, I'm having a problem with my roommate, or I'm having a problem with my HVAC." Or in some cases, and I'll go super deep here, they're super depressed and they just want somebody to talk to.
I would.
Maybe
I would
they
say
think
that, yeah.
maybe they're thinking about killing themselves because they think life's not good and they have nothing going for them. And Teddy's the manager, and he goes out of the way to see how his residents are doing, and that just changed their whole mindset. Like mental wellness is an issue with 18 to 22-year-olds, but Teddy just saved a life because he gave a shit, and he learned his resident's name. He learned the pet name. He had a conversation about when we're doing packages, and Teddy might have just changed that person's life.
And so this is the conversation that you're having with your staff.
Yeah.
That you can, at the simplest form, create such a respect level that you're actually saving someone from making a wrong decision or making them feel like they don't care or they're not part of your community.
Yeah.
And that's at the human level probably the most valuable thing that your staff can do, right?
Actually,
Because you don't know how that reaction, you could treat them badly and it can have a negative effect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard for our staff members, because our staff members walk through our door every day, and they might be having problems with school, with their husband or wife, with finances or whatever, but they have to check their emotions at the door because they have a job to do to take care of the residents that were paid, because those residents might be having a tougher time than they are.
Yeah, and they're not ready to deal with it. They probably have not seen the life the way maybe the staff has seen.
Yeah. For international students,
Yeah.
is they're totally being displaced. They're in a new country. Maybe they don't know the language. Maybe they don't know the culture. And it's even more important for our team members to make it as easy, the transition as easy as possible. And what does that mean? That means caring. That means having a conversation. That means asking questions. That means, hey, these are the best places to eat. These are the best places to shop. This is the best route to take to school. These are the best websites to look at when you need something in the city. Like, it's stuff that you know, but you're going the extra mile to, like Teddy said, that first-class customer service. That's what it's all about.
No, I think that also is true. When you have an experience where you are trying to create something right from a good place, where you think that kindness is something that we have to keep at the core. We are selling leases. There's dollars attached to that unit, but behind all that dollar, there is somebody who's planning to stay here for a year. They will go through their breakups. They'll go through their first probably failures. They'll go through their rejections. And amidst all that, can we build a cocoon for them that where they come to the unit, they don't feel bad. They don't feel alone, probably at night and stuff like that.
But don't look at it that they're only going to live there a year.
Yeah.
We train our staff members that if you treat them right, they're going to be there 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, however long they're going to go to school. Like, they could be a long-term resident. And resident retention is more important now than it ever has been. Like, industry standard was 30%. You better be renewing 50% of your property, because trying to get new leases are harder than ever.
It has become harder.
I'll tell you a story, and Jason can probably attest to similar similar stories. You treat the resident with respect, and you give them, all the attention in the world, and they still end up moving out of your property, right? But what's even more satisfying is when they move out of your property and they see the value associated with what they had, and they come back to your asset. Because there's a clear disparity between the products that they're now currently receiving and what they were receiving. And you do that. You do that from time to time. You're like, hey, I think I'm going to buy this more cost-effective product to try to save money, but it's not at the same quality. And you end up engaging and going back and still purchasing what you used to purchase and engaging with those brands because it made you feel a certain way, right?
The grass is not always greener on the other side,
The
right?
grass is not always greener on
Probably
the other side.
never.
Yeah.
Probably never.
Most of the time, no.
Most of the time, no.
It has weeds.
Yeah, I think what it always takes me back to is like, because I have worked with a lot of direct-to-consumer brands, mostly on the client servicing side. And what I've always found challenging is that, hey, if you are probably doing this at, say, let's take example of student housing. If you are doing this at 30 properties, it's okay. I mean, you can probably know the pitfalls, or you can know the gaps in the experience or training for all those 30 properties. The secret sauce that I want to know from you is, how do you guys manage this at scale? Is there a program that you run? Is there a technology that you have deployed? Is there a technique that you're training your torchbearers who are taking it from you and then bringing down top to bottom? What is that secret sauce? Because managing customer experience at scale is not only a problem in student housing, it is probably everywhere. There's a reason we are talking about the Hiltons and the Marriotts of the world. Like, for example, I go to, say, Dubai. You talk about service. Even a hotel that is probably 3-star would still maintain a certain benchmark of it. You go to anywhere else in the world, it happens. And I'm sure that happens in States as well. I've been to all kind of brands. I've stayed in Hilton, Marriott, Loft, Airbnbs, everything is cool. But sometimes I found that while scaling, it becomes a challenge. So what do you think would that be?
It's a multifaceted approach.
Okay.
Right? You're not going to just do one thing and be done with it.
Yeah.
It's a top-down approach as well. And it's, follow by example, right? And so when your executives and your regionals come to visit your property, they treat the residents. I've been with owners that pick up trash on the way to just walk the property, right? And the owners are picking up trash. What does that tell the rest of your staff that's walking with the owner? Maybe we should pick up some trash, right? So it's follow by example. But what I'm saying is it's multifaceted because it's you're visiting with your staff and you're training them, and you're not just saying, okay, that's the training. It's consistency of that training. And I'm not saying like you're sitting down with them in a classroom and you're training them that way, but it's literally you're holding their hand and you're showing them what the expectations are, right? Back to you're making them invested into what are your influences when you're in this role? How important is your role to the overall success of the asset, right? And it's their investment and them being good stewards of the investment that create that consistency all the way around, right? They hold each other accountable, and their ability to continue on in that process even after the owners and the corporate staff leave and there's no eyes on the property. Are they consistently following what has been going on? And how do you keep that consistency? What I've always said in regards to the secret sauce, that when owners and the corporate office come to your property, they're coming. You clean up the property, you make sure everything looks great. Jason and his team are coming.
Yeah.
Make sure the trash chutes,
Yeah.
are clean and,
pristine.
everything looks great, And the executive team and the owners look and, oh, everything's great. Congrats. You know, good luck on leasing. We know you're a little bit behind, but keep,
know you can do
keep
that.
hustling,
Yeah.
right? And then when the ownership and the corporate staff leave, you get back into your rhythm and you get back into your bad habits associated with the property. But what people end up forgetting is that the owners and the people you should be caring about live at your property every single day. And those are the people you should be worried about what they think of your property. Those are the people you should be impressing. You know the tagline. You got to treat your residents as if they are the CEOs and the owners of the property. Bottom line. It's that consistency across all your assets that make you a force to be reckoned with.
Teddy used the one term that I think sums this all up, and it's accountability. And it's accountability of the company's standards. Like every company has their SOPs or their KPIs or their training programs, and I certainly feel like ours are some of the best in the industry, but it doesn't matter unless somebody's holding them accountable to the standard.
sure.
And that means every day.
I completely believe it. Any company that I ever worked with, I mostly have worked in sales and operations, and typically, even before the times of Chat GPTs and Claude, there used to be something. We used to design a lot of SOPs, and earlier I always used to wonder, hey, I did so many SOPs now. How are we tracking the implementation? And I'm talking about 2012, 2011. I mean, you were tracking it on Excel sheets, right?
Sure.
Today, you ask a team member, hey, can you build up the process? How we're gonna do this, for example, any project, and they'll go to ChatGPT, and it'll give you a nice template, amazing looking. And my question is, okay, this is cool. Now tell me how we'll scale that option. Probably that is where it's always my worry. It's my personal worry. Maybe just call it paranoia. I always feel that it's super easy to make a process, like amazingly easy. I think you have nowadays with ChatGPT and AI, you can probably feed 10 books into it, give the context, and get an amazing process out of it. How will you scale that? How will you scale adoption? How will you track adoption? So yes, accountability is such a major, I would say not a challenge. I think it's an opportunity. If you are able to scale accountability in your teams, I think that probably would be something that we aspire for. We try to make sure that anybody that we are hiring, that hey, as you guys said, it's not rocket science. We are not in the business of brain surgeries at all. Thank God for that. But what we are in the business of is somebody's calling you and fretting over their move-ins or their payments not going through, property not responding. They are concerned. That emotion of that 2 minute is what we have to handle. Go ahead.
Yeah, Teddy used the story a minute ago about an owner picking up trash.
Yes.
And I've seen it. I mean, and it's powerful. And it'll make a staff member feel like this when that happens. What we train
You try to grab it from the
right.
owner.
Yeah, you
No,
would
I got it.
You will do anything in the world to do that.
It's not a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling.
We always train, you're ready to get promoted when you think like an owner.
Yeah.
And an owner thinks, I'm picking up trash in my living room, right? Like that's their living room, even though it's outside. And when a staff member gets to that point, they're ready to move up the ladder. But that means they're being held accountable every day. They're holding their staff accountable. They're holding their maintenance team accountable because they're thinking like an owner. And most people have no idea what that means.
They don't.
But if they put their life savings in there, into that property, how are they going to treat it? Like, that's the mentality you have to have. It's hard teaching people that. But I will tell you this. I go on properties, I pick up trash. Like, that's just, I've always done it. And I do it to prove a point to my team.
It's a powerful example.
It's a very powerful example,
And I'm not overdoing cleaning toilets, cleaning up throw up, picking up trash, whatever needs to be done. Like, that's part of the job.
Yeah.
And when people have the mentality, that's not my job, that's the porter's job.
Yep.
That's, again, where's the door? Get out of here. Everything's your job because you have to think like an owner.
We never ask any of our staff members to do something that we wouldn't do.
We wouldn't do.
Absolutely.
That's powerful. I think that's really powerful. It's like a general in the army. If I would not go, or if I would
Risk
not
your
die,
life.
Yeah, if I would not die on that hill, I would never ask you to do that either. But if I'm doing it, you better be standing with me or you leave. As simple as that.
Correct.
I like that.
Correct.
I like that. I think that is the only way, because you can name different terminology, psychology, here, everything, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it has to be led by example, yeah?
For sure.
I think that actually helps a lot, gives a lot of context to it. Because I've always wondered how a company that grows from, say, about 5,000 beds to 500,000 beds in the future, how would they be able to maintain that experience?
Training is all about modeling behavior that you want your staff to do each and every day. Like, that's part of leadership. You certainly want to set the example of how to do it. Then you want them to do it. Then you want them to teach somebody how to do what you taught them to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's all modeling. That's all leadership. And lead by example is a true thing.
Yeah, I think, there's no rocket science to it. There's no secret sauce to it in that respect. But I think that is a tougher part for people. People just don't get it. People like picking up the trash again, coming back to it, because it's such a big memory for me. Even meeting a customer, just knowing their name, taking the effort. Like when I was starting early, it used to be like my mentors were very good at that time. I was fortunate to have great mentors at that time. And knowing somebody's name is something that we learned pretty early. We did not understand the meaning of it, but I came from a generation where you'd never question your bosses. Never. They said, hey, AB, you have to learn the name. Okay. Every restaurant that I'm going in, hey, what's your name? What's your name? But now, probably spending so much time there, now I'm able to tell my team that, hey, my son as well, that, hey, when you go to a restaurant, check out somebody's name. It just humanizes the whole experience.
Of course.
It's not transactional anymore.
I think one piece of advice that I'd give to every property manager out there is get your butt up from your office and go answer the phones at the front desk and go give tours and go with your maintenance team and run tickets with them and go with the porter and do rounds.
Be visible.
That's what leadership's all about.
Be visible.
Be visible. Be visible. Yeah, be visible. I think
Desk managers are the ones that they get under. That's one of my pet peeves. Like, get out of your office and go see your property.
Yep. Yep.
I think that is it's makes for a nice segue for me. Something that is very something that's kind of a puzzle for us, and I think I try to speak to it to a lot of people I met at the conference. But I think you are the best people to give me some closure on this, because I did not get any closure by talking to anybody. Was that our whole business is built around a community, yeah? Student housing, the whole business is built around community. But the student, the demographic that we are catering to now, doesn't want a community. Not in that traditional respect. They want a lot of privacy attached to it. They want a protective community kind of experience. Like, hey, I'll only go somewhere where I want to go. Okay. Now, how do you make these worlds merge? It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I mean, and I know there'll always be oddballs. There'll always be cases where, no, I mean, if you have 100 residents, 20 would never open up, because they have maybe different lifestyles. Maybe they came from a different place,
Sure.
and they are connecting with different people, maybe going out. But how do you do that? A business that is centered around community is now interacting with people who do not want large communities. How do we do that? Or maybe I misunderstood something, or maybe I'm missing a piece here.
Well, I mean, I think, your community offers different aspects to it, right? You can be an extrovert in the community. You can be an introvert in the community. Someone that doesn't want to engage in the community and kind of want to stay on their own road may rent a studio or a one-bedroom unit, right? And it's about giving them the opportunities to be a part of that community versus just assuming that, hey, I don't have to do community-related items. You know what I mean? Give them the opportunity, Just because today they don't want to be a part of the community doesn't mean that tomorrow they are not going to either.
That's so persistent.
Give them the opportunity to engage. It's up to them for them to engage with the community ultimately. Does it make sense?
It makes sense, but it actually leads to a different, say, puzzle for me personally. And I've always been where I've seen communities growing, thriving. But of course, the biggest problem for any community is engagement. Because there's a very fine line between giving that space and then risk losing them altogether. In the sense that, say, it's a building of, say, about 200 units. You do events, you do festivals, you do all multi ethnicity events as well. Maybe somebody has a different orientation, somebody has a different orientation, somebody likes something else, everything. And I know it's tough. I know it's tough to cater to everything. But is there any directive that we tell the brand teams that, hey, because they cannot lose engagement at all. They can't. Otherwise, the community doesn't exist. So how do we tread that fine balance? Giving opportunity is one part of it, but giving opportunity also has a very fine balance that maybe they will just go to the other side and they were like, oh, well, maybe I'll come once in 6 months. I don't know.
Well, maybe you're soliciting what their interests are as well. If you end up, noticing, or if your data is indicative of, a search it, demographics not showing up.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to have them be part of the conversation as well. Jason, what do you think?
Think about it a different way. Community is a different definition to every resident.
Okay.
So community to one person might mean I'm coming to every resident event, I'm super active, I'm super vocal, I'm totally into the property and the brand. Community to somebody else would mean I have a good parking spot, I have a good unit. When my maintenance requests go down, they fix it within 24 hours. When I go get my packages, everything's good. That community is totally different than the resident that's totally engaged, right? So we have to build community individually for each member. And you get feedback through surveys, you get feedback through your website, through online reputation, and you solicit feedback, you get the feedback back, you make changes so the resident sees that you're listening. But there are some people that are going to live at your property, like Teddy said, that are in studios that the only time you hear from them is when they put a maintenance request in or they have a package. And you have a ability to make community, to define community for them when their maintenance requests are taken care of, when their packages aren't lost and they're delivered on time. Like, that's community for them. They don't want to take part in the fitness center and the resident events. I do think if you're going to do resident events, it can't be the same thing every week. It needs to be different. It needs to be educational. It needs to be fun. Like, there needs to be different things. But you can't make somebody be part of the community, like the fun stuff. But again, community is a different definition to each person. And some of those people live with you 3 years. You don't really know their name because they never come in the office. But they're super happy because
they stayed there for 3 years.
They stayed there, but you're meeting their needs. They're just not vocal needs. You're just making them happy. So think about it a little different that way.
Yeah, I think I think that is why personalization of reach outs, the personalization of how we are creating those touch points. I think that is the answer.
You do have to keep trying though, right?
We have to
because
keep trying.
maybe they come out of their shell and then they start coming to the events. Offering jobs at the property too. Maybe that's, hey, I need money and I'm going to go be a part-time porter or maybe a part-time leasing agent. That could be a way to build community too. So
we would leave notes on their packages because either they're picking up their packages after hours or, you'd leave notes on the packages either with like a lifesaver or something, or maintenance would leave, when they complete a work order, hopefully we're a lifesaver for you and leave a little lifesaver or something, something funny. you know.
That's nice. That's nice. I
Just
think
shows you care.
Yeah.
it shows you care. Exactly, it shows you
You're
care.
engaged.
You're engaged. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think this is my learning from this conversation right now. We often talk about how engaged is the community, how engaged are the users. If you are engaged with them, I mean, you have to be engaged in that business enough to actually garner that engagement, if that makes sense. I think that's what I've learned here. Like that gesture of writing something, it's not coming out of the mill. You're not pasting stickers or something, right? Your teams thought that, hey, I have to go out of my way and put that sticker. Or your team thought that, hey, we have to make sure, can we offer them a job? Is money the problem? Or somebody has that kind of a challenge going on. When you do that, it shows that, hey, it's like you earn respect by giving respect. You earn engagement by giving that much kind of time and effort into it. Wow. See, every time I've sat with you guys, it has been a masterclass, and I don't kid it. I don't say it lightly, never lightly.
Let's keep doing it. This is fun.
This is fun for me. This is fun for me. All right, guys. I think I have taken so much of your time. Thank you so much. I know everybody's flying out today. I know you have somehow squeezed me into the schedule.
Sure.
Really appreciate this.
No,
Really
no
appreciate
problem.
this. All right.
Problem.
Love being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Better in person.
Better in person, right?
I agree.
It is better
Okay.
in person.
Okay. So
agree.
next time.
Every conference now.
All right. Every conference. You have my word on it. Yeah, every conference. In fact, we have loved this format so much. I have told my team that forget about engagement, forget about anything. I simply love these conversations.
They're great.
It has always helped us learn something. It has always helped us probably position PBSA as a product
Sure.
very differently than what we were doing. And it is not only about multifamily PBSA, just resident experience very differently.
Sure.
Because resident experience expectations, what we have noticed in all our services, very different. It's not similar to somebody looking for an accommodation in London, and when you compare them in New York, very different.
One thing before we leave,
Yeah.
you know, obviously we're coming off the coattails of the Super Bowl of
Yes,
student housing,
yes,
right?
yes.
Interface student housing. I'd love to hear kind of your takeaways from the conference, and I'll share kind of my 2 cents of what I took away from the Interface conference. What I took away was the success of assets moving forward is not going to come from the market momentum, right?
Yeah.
The market momentum is obviously varies by, market to market, city to city, and the influxes of those markets. But it's really going to come from the engagement of the operations team and them adjusting to the needs of the market and addressing things from an operational standpoint and implementing the resident experience into every facet of the interactions that we've been talking about. That's what I got from Interface. Deals are obviously hard to pencil still. Developments are slowing down. So that's kind of what I took away.
Jason, you'll go first. Or I'll go?
Sure. Execution is key. I had a bunch of meetings these last 48 hours, and it's all about executing. It's all, and how do you execute? You hire the right people, you hold those people accountable, and good teams don't lose. You have good teams, you're going to win. You're right that it's tougher than it's ever been. But we also, our firm has a bunch of multifamily units, and their rents are going backwards. Our rents are still going forward. Like there's a kind of a black cloud of student housing's not getting 10% rent.
Yeah.
I think we got to stop being so greedy and understand 3 or 4% is really good. 95% occupancy is really good.
Really good.
That looks really good on the NOI. This is the best avenue to put your money in, investment-wise. Like student housing doesn't go like this. Like it doesn't go up and down. It's very, very
Resilient.
very resilient, very steady.
Yeah.
And then now's the best time than ever. And value add is the way to go. I spent a lot of time in my career doing new developments, and it's not the way anymore. There's going to be some, but it's not going to be like it was in the past. But making these properties that were built in the early 2000s and converting them into 2026 with the right amenities and everything like that is really going to be key. And selling that affordable student housing value to kids is key. And how do you do that? You have better teams than everyone. You have better trained teams and hold them accountable. So kind of the general take that I got from the conference.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, I think my take is not very far from what you guys said. But for me, two to three things were particularly very much, which were standing out. One was, we all know that there are about 100K beds getting delivered between now and the next 18 months. And that has probably never happened in the last couple of years. It's been a while that has happened. What it tells me is there is an opportunity for the student housing as an industry to kind of consolidate what our goals are. Like you mentioned execution, like you mentioned about realizing that 3%, 4% is fine. Because now is not the time that, hey, we are questioning that, oh, it cannot happen, or we cannot do that. Now is the time of understanding it is already happening. Can we do something to make this just more resilient? Can we all add to that? Our goal has been the same. In fact, one of the things, second thing that I loved meeting everybody, including you two guys as well, everybody is now more focused on diversification. Everybody's looking, okay, let's spread our wings. Let's try to see what all is there in terms of potential. We do not only want to probably cater to this bunch or that bunch. I love that. Third that I loved was how fast now the technology has started finally moving. I've been attending Interface from last couple of years, and I think I've asked to both of you as well personally, I've asked a couple of people that I come here, we talk about AI a lot. We don't do a lot in that respect that I would imagine. And I know the challenges as well. There are legacy incumbents who were not probably open. But now what I loved this time is that finally I've started hearing about initiatives that are on the road. I don't know what's the future about it is, but I am hoping that, hey, let this be more efficient now in that sense. Let those initiatives roll out. We as an industry, we are talking to people, we are housing people who are at the tip of the technology. Experience is one thing, but we cannot deny that technology will be part of that experience. It is impossible to deny now. So let's not wait on the sidelines and let's see how much it adopts. I think it's the time it should adopt. So that's my key takeaway.